one of the worst things I see all of the time is people using Christianity as an excuse to be unattractive. And they won't say those exact words. They won't say, I'm using Christianity as a way to not be attractive. What they do is they hide it in this like moral high ground thing. So, for example, working out. I remember I made this video about working out a long time ago on my old channels. And someone responded saying, well, that's like vain, and the Bible says don't be vain, and like you're doing that because of women, and that's like the wrong thing to do. You're going to go to hell. Got that comment. And what I notice is that people don't understand at all how it works. Okay, because as soon as I start saying anything about being attractive to a woman, they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't be focusing on women. You shouldn't be focusing on women. And they completely miss the point. Okay, if you think that, you're a retard. Straight up. I'm going to explain how this works. Okay, so Christianity is the greatest boost an individual can get for their attractiveness. And a lot of people are like, how? Just believing God makes you more attractive? Not necessarily. I think that's actually, long-term it does, that proposition alone. But even in the short term, in terms of how people perceive you, you have to understand that the Bible tells you to do certain things. Okay, Christianity is not just, well, I believe in Jesus. It's more like, I believe in Jesus and I follow him. And following him is a part of following the commands. So what is attraction deep down? Attraction is health. Okay, why are wide jaws attractive? Because it's healthy. Why are faces that don't look like melted ice cream attractive? Because it's healthy. Why are compact eyes attractive? Because it's healthy. Why are muscles attractive? Because it's healthy. Okay? You have to understand that we are given a temple as men, and also personality-wise, why is being able to speak well and being assertive attractive? Because it's part of being a man. All right? So we have to understand is that the Bible teaches you to be a man. And taking care of your temple, taking care of your health, being presentable, being a good role model for others is a part of being a Christian man. So here's how it works. Okay, when you move up in this scale of becoming a better Christian man, okay, you're trying to do more of the commands of what you're told, your attraction level goes up. Whether it be the Christian woman, secular woman, etc. The attraction level goes up. Because I want you to think about it like this, okay? God created men and women, right? And God created men and women in certain ways, right? And he gives certain commands for men and women, right? So, it follows that if men are supposed to be attracted to women and women are supposed to be attracted to men, there's an idea of what a man should be. Okay, when you think of an attractive man, you don't think of some fat dude. Or you think of a handsome guy. And that handsome guy is like an example of the mold of how a man should be. And this is rooted in gender roles. Okay? Why aren't women supposed to be super assertive and super masculine and whatever? Because it's not their role. That's the man's role. And it's the greatest boost because you're not doing it out of vain. Okay, I'm totally against just becoming more attractive because you just want some pussy. I'm totally against that. People shouldn't do that. That's not what I teach. What I teach is that if you align closer to God, you will start doing these things more. Because you won't be one of these people that are using God as cope. And this is what I really don't like, because they take a moral high ground position of saying, we aren't vain, we aren't this, we aren't that, as an excuse to be lazy. Because, don't worry, everything I say will be free, but I will suggest very heavily that you join my Discord because you can get one-on-one access with me. You can ask me a question on there. I will answer it in there as of now, at least. It's not too crazy yet. And you also gain access to uncensored information in Discord channel, which I cannot share on YouTube. There's also more general, broad information and niche information on different subjects that are not touched on in this video, most likely. Being said, find that in the description. Let's get back to the video. Not only does no person want to be scrawny or fat, but it's also wrong, biblically. Okay, the Bible tells you you have to be a man of stature, a man of health. I'm not saying you have to be like a gym rat to do that, but what I'm saying is that, being scrawny isn't healthy for you. Being fat isn't healthy for you. So, if you're going to say, I'm not going to change that because of the Bible, then you're just being wrong. Okay? And you're propping up God, and then you're lying. It's not a good thing. Okay? So what I talk about is, if you align closer to God and you follow more of God's values, you will end up becoming more attractive. And this loops back around to what I see all the time. What I see all the time are people misunderstanding how attraction works. It's not just well, he just has a big jaw, so like the big jaw's attractive because the big jaw's attractive. No, it's healthy. And they also see it as a completely vain thing. Okay? You have to understand is that you are a role model for other people. If you're a Christian man, you are a role model. So if you look like a geek, okay, that's not reflecting very well in Christianity. And this is not about being beholden to other people. Remember that. This is about aligning closer with the image of God is aligning closer with Him, and that leading to you making changes in your life, and those changes reflecting in your appearance. Okay? So, don't use Christianity as an excuse to be unattractive. Okay, if women don't like you, it's not because you're Christian. I see it all the time. They're like, well, girls don't like me. They don't like my Christian values. They aren't Christians, so they don't like me. That's not why they don't like you. Okay, they don't like you because you're fat and you look like a geek. Okay? And if you're going to be Christian, you shouldn't be those things. I think, actually, a good example I remember is Tim Tebow. And now I'm remembering this memory. It was like the whatever show thing. It's like a talk show, like sports talk show, a long time ago. And some girls were talking like, Tim Tebow, like, he's so hot, but he just always talks about Christianity. See, you also have to understand is that, so they find him attractive, and he's Christian. So, and why is he attractive? Well, he's tall, he's muscular, and he's well-developed face. Those are signs of health. Those are healthy indicators. That's part of what comes with following God. And a lot of them also fall for this thing where it's like, well, the girls, they're like pro-life, excuse me, not pro-life. Oh, I wish they were. They're like pro-choice and, they're like feminists or whatever. See, like this type of stuff doesn't stick. Okay, if they find you really attractive and they like you, they'll change those things. Okay, so if you think you're stuck because of that, you're also falling for another myth. All right. So in any case, stop using Christianity as an excuse for the reason why you're unattractive, the reason why you can't get a girlfriend. It's because you aren't qualified, and that's not by society standards, not by female standards, it's by God's standards. Okay, if you follow God, you will be attractive. If you do what He commands, you will be attractive.